I tried to assist photographers, but that didn't work out. So I decided it's fine. I'll just start on my own.
And we have Ritika Shah today, fashion and advertising photographer.
I studied law before I got into photography, and I decided not to practice. My parents, obviously, they said, you can't leave a professional course, you have to finish it. There was no option, I had to finish that. How to even rent equipment. Like, renting equipment became like the biggest challenge for me. I met this guy and I asked him, where did you get this Octa from? Where did you get these lights from? So he told me there's this store in Chandni Chowk, you'll have to go there. There's this guy Madanji, you'll have to get your equipment from him. He sells it. And it was locked. So I'm calling him. He's not even picking up. I was like, shit, like, what do I do? This is like, I'm stuck. But within like 10-15 minutes, he picked up the call and then he said कि अरे अभी तो ऑफिस में कोई भी नहीं है.
Welcome everyone. So here is another episode of Behind the Script, and we have Ritika Shah today, fashion and advertising photographer. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm the kind of guy who shoots a podcast once in 4 months.
I just want to know, are we supposed to look into any of the cameras?
It's completely casual. It's one is why do our like crop things. I think when was the last episode when we shot? November.
Oh wow. So you haven't shot in these?
So if I am the kind of guy, let's say if I shoot with you today and I make a call to somebody in the afternoon, I can call somebody else and shoot another episode. Unlike you, I hate walking up the stairs for like 4 floors and come. Being honest. But anyways, so tell us more about you. Like, how did you start as a photographer? I mean, as far as I know that you started law. Just tell us more about it.
So I studied law before I got into photography. I studied law for 5 years. I finished law and I decided not to practice. In second year law, I knew that, I want to drop out. I wanted to get into photography full time. But my parents, obviously, they said, you can't leave a professional course. You have to finish it. So there was no option. I had to finish that. And then they said, once you finish law, then you do whatever you want to do. That's not a problem. But 3 years more I had like left, to complete my degree. So I said, fine, I'll complete it. I got done with it. Then I'm like, I'm not wasting any time. I applied for like a 1-year course in photography because after 5 years of law, like it's almost like a burnout. I don't think I wanted to study more also. Even if it was photography, I was just like 1-year course is the max I can do. So I said, okay, fine. I applied for a 1-year course at New York Film Academy. And in, I think, 6 months, I left for the course. And it was a 1-year course. It was great. And uske baad the whole issue was like, once I came back, everything I had learned was, I feel, very American. Like the whole thing, how to even rent equipment. Like renting equipment became like the biggest challenge for me. Yeah. I said, where do I even get equipment? So I Googled and there was nothing online. And that was a big struggle. But back then I had a friend who was a model. So she took me for a shoot and there was a photographer there, one of those Malviya Nagar basement shoots.
Yeah.
And I met this guy and I asked him, where did you get this Octa from? Where did you get these lights from? Even though they were basic Ellen Chrome lights. So he told me there's this store in Chandni Chowk. You'll have to go there. There's this guy Madanji. You'll have to get your equipment from him. He sells it. I said, okay, sure. So I went there. Then I'm trying to buy, like I said, I'll buy 2 basic lights. And I'll start with that. I'll start with model test shoots. So I went there and he's like, "Aap kyun kharid rahe ho? Vimal hai na?" And I'm like, oh, okay. Then he told me about Vimal ji and Muskan lights.
Yeah.
And then I did buy those 2 lights. And then I said, okay, whatever else I need, I'll rent. So I contacted Vimal ji. And then I actually thought ki Vimal ji would also function like I had become very American by then.
Yeah.
So I thought ki it's going to be like a walk-in store, right? You go and you pick whatever you want. You pay for it and you come
The guy
out.
who makes 8 figures a year, but still nobody knows where his office is. Yeah.
No, so I actually went to the office in Chirag, Delhi. I said I want to rent out. I was doing a product shoot. I wanted to rent out a 4 feet wide backdrop. So what I thought would be a regular 4 feet backdrop. अब वो था 8 feet को काटा तो बीच में से.
Very few people use it. I know that.
So I was doing a food shoot. And I had contacted him. I said, I'll be needing this tomorrow. And he said, yeah. So call time ho gaya, whatever, 10 a.m. was the call time, 9 a.m. I think I reached his office and it was locked. So I'm calling him. He's not even picking up. I was like, shit, like, what do I do? This is like, I'm stuck. But within like 10-15 minutes, he picked up the call and then he said कि अरे अभी तो ऑफिस में कोई भी नहीं है. And I said, but I need the backdrop. आपने बताया कि ऑफिस में कोई नहीं होगा. So then slowly after 2-3 shoots, I realized कि you have to tell them in advance. You have to block, a light man. You have to block everything a day in advance, and you have to keep like calling them. Now, so I call them like 2-3 times when I have a shoot. And you have to cross check your equipment. So धीरे धीरे करके I learned it the Indian way, and then I just got used to it. Now I'm too comfortable to move anywhere. I'm very comfortable in Delhi now.
But how did it start? Like, when were you introduced?
To the camera? Or
I'll tell you. So second year law only, I interned with this website called exclusively.in.
I know that.
Yeah, so it was ages ago.
You're in the law department there or what?
No. I was interning as a photographer's assistant.
No, but when were you introduced to photography? That when you started doing law and you were in the first year of college, and then they go, okay, let's.
Oh, so my friend was a model back then. So she had joined Elite Model Management.
Okay. Yeah.
So I used to do her test shoots. So she had to send her portfolios. तब तो printed portfolios जाते थे. तो
Which year was it?
this is 2009.
Oh my God, okay.
Yeah. So she had joined Elite and we had just crossed out school. This is actually first year law. So this 2009-10, I started doing her shoots, and Elite used to actually really like what I used to do for her. And they said, whoever's shooting with you, they're doing a good job. So I was also a kid. I didn't even take that seriously. I was like, haan, theek hai, I'm decent at it. So I shot multiple times with her, because she was also a friend. So I was shooting quite a lot with her. Then she used to be like, you come with me for a shoot. So I'd gone with her for like a shoot, 2-3 shoots maybe. And then I was like, this seems interesting. And I was anyways the kind of kid who didn't like studying. So I thought this is a good change from what I do. So I said, okay, let me give it a shot. Then she knew a photographer who was then working at Exclusively.
Okay, yeah.
Surprisingly, a female photographer.
Yeah.
Actually, by the name of Swati Chauhan. She was a female photographer.
Okay.
Now I don't know about her, but back then I spoke to her and she said, yeah, you can come and assist me. We shoot in a small studio space. So studio was, I think, smaller than this room also. So we were just shooting with models, very basic catalog, like front, back, side, details. There were like home products, pillows, cushions, all of that also we were doing. So I did that for a month and I was like, ये तो interesting है. This is better than going to a law office. I would any day do this over going to, a lawyer's office. So cut to, I think, like 3 years later, I just went for the course. Like that's the only experience I had like during those 5 years in photography. Like I was still test shooting for my friend and I interned for a month at Exclusively. Exclusively and was during law. This is like 2010, maybe 2010-11.
And when did you finish law?
2014.
And after that you went to New York?
Yeah, 2015 I was in New York. 2015 Jan, I reached there.
How did you get to know about that college? Like very few people.
Oh, so I had a family friend who had done filmmaking from New York Film Academy.
Nice.
And I think once you start Googling things, then the ads keep coming.
Yeah.
That is also another thing. So my friend told me that, go for it. It's a very good course. He had done filmmaking and he said, I think like for people like us, you don't need more than a year. You don't need to do a master's in photography. You can do a 1-year course and you'll understand everything. Like, you'll be able to do it. So I said, okay. In that 1 year also, we still had that option. You could extend and make it a 2-year program and do a master's in photography. After 1 year, I felt like I've learned everything. I know everything. I don't need to, do another 1 year. And mera bhi burnout ho gaya tha tab tak.
Got it.
So it was a very intensive, like a 10-month course, super intensive course, and learned a lot there. My teachers were amazing. My professors there were
What's
really,
the
really
process
good.
usually? What kind of process they follow? Like when they are picking up, like say you go to a photography school. I mean, how does it start? How does it work it out over there? Like
first, they tell you that you need to know the basics of a camera. So
that's
they
technical stuff.
Yeah, technical stuff. You need to know the basics, ISO, aperture. They teach you all of that, but then they say at least learn how to operate the camera basically. Then we'll teach you everything. So they taught us aperture, they taught us ISO, they teach you shutter speed. Wo basics to they cover very quickly. But I think the main focus was how to give you like a vision. Like I feel vision and style was one of my classes. I think that really helps you in building your own personal style as a photographer. And also, like, what's your long-term goal? Like, where do you want to do? You just don't want to be a camera operator. You want to, like, create work which is your own and which reflects your own personality, which is, very close to your heart. As I mean, it's also a medium of expression. So, as a photographer, what do you want to express through your photos? Even though I feel now I'm doing a lot of commercial work, there's very less expressing myself in that.
No, but I mean, because we also get queries from a lot of these youngsters
Right.
asking for internships or assistants. I used to take a lot of interns earlier, stopped
Yeah.
doing it anymore.
I have taken a lot of your interns.
No, but then I personally found out that, there comes a stage in your life when there's that self-awareness hits you,
Yeah.
that you're not doing the complete ROI on that front. When if somebody particularly wants to learn photography earlier, because
Right.
I used to be involved in the process back in 17, 18, 19. 20 tak I was very much involved in every photography shoot. Like I would be
Okay.
the person like a CD or a AD and just get the shoots done and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because mine were heavily towards the commercial slash advertising segment, not the editorial slash fashion. What's the hiring process? How would you pick up a particular talent that, this talent can assist me and he or she can learn with me?
So I do telephonic like interviews. I just talk to the person. It's all about a vibe, right? If you feel that this person is acting too smart or like acting maybe, or is totally unaware. I actually feel like if somebody doesn't know anything, it's better to say, yeah, I don't know about it rather than saying I know and then you come for the job and then you don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's better because then you're prepared that you can teach this person and they'll understand it. I think when you're looking for an intern, there's nothing particular that you look for. You just look for somebody who wants to learn. They should be, a little bit curious, I would say. And they should obviously be interested in photography. That's a basic. Because I get a lot of, emails saying I really like styling and I want to.
I get same kind of
Yeah.
things. I really
really
love your
styling. I love your work. Looking for styling,
Yeah.
I want to be a styling intern. And I'm like, you don't even read who you're sending the email to. You don't even know my name. So many times I'm like, I get emails saying, hi, Prithvi ma'am. So I'm like, theek hai yaar, koi baat
There is no
nahi.
homework. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
there is
funniest-
zero homework. And when I get these emails, saying, hi, Prithvi sir, I just feel very happy. I'm like, okay.
Because the funniest Instagram messages which I get is, "Hi, we have been following your work since ages, since a year and a half, something like that."
Yeah.
And then you see that person is not even following you up. Like it's like, how does it work? But yeah, I mean that desperation of just pinging everybody and not
Yeah.
doing the homework. I think that's
Sometimes you even get those emails where there are like 20 people tagged. I mean,
That
it's
I've
not even
seen.
CC'd. It's
Yeah.
like you're 20 people.
Yeah.
That same email has gone to 20 people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think email is the best way to actually get in touch also. So usually it's like I would if I'm looking for an intern or an assistant, I'll put up a story on Instagram and then I'll always mention please email, don't DM. I hate DMs.
What do you see? I mean, comparatively, like you have just started a career in the last decade. What changes you have seen in the last 7 to 10 years of your career in photography?
So I think from 2016 I started, but literally like I think I was doing like one shoot in like 4 months, 5 months. So it doesn't really count as you're starting out, but then I was blank. I didn't even know who to contact, where to start from. I tried to assist photographers, but that didn't work out. So I decided ki it's fine. I'll just start on my own. So started shooting portraits of my close friends, my sister, and there was a designer who saw a portrait that I had shot of my sister, and she said, you know what, I want this photographer and I want this model. So my first shoot actually was for this designer Bhavya Bhatnagar,
Okay.
and they had just launched their brand Hanan.
Okay.
And I shot sweatshirts with my sister. So my sister was the model.
The one who runs the startup in the soaps
Yeah,
category.
Mole soaps,
Mole
yeah.
soaps, yeah.
So she was the model, and she looks like a model also. So it's मेरे लिए बहुत easy रहा to start with her. So I shot like it was a in-store campaign sort of a thing. We shot that, and then we did another day of lookbook. So I was so stressed out. I still remember. I was like, I don't even know if I'll be able to light it. I know studio lighting and I know all kinds of lighting, but I don't know if I'll be able to even light it. By then I had already bought like 2 lights, so I took those 2 lights, did the whole shoot, and it turned out to be really, really good. And uske baad I started getting like lookbook queries through Instagram. Honestly, like my only way to, way to get work was through Instagram because I was not connected to any agency, didn't know any modeling agencies also back then. But then somebody recommended, why don't you contact modeling agencies? Then I started contacting them. Then they're obviously open to sending you models for test shoots. So I started test shooting with a few modeling agencies, and that's how my portfolio actually was built. And then while you're test shooting, those models are also new. You're also new, so you sort of build a rapport with
Because
them.
it's more of a barter, like where you're also working on the portfolio and they're
Yeah.
also trying to build their portfolio as a model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that really helped. I think that's the best way to start out, because if you've not assisted anyone, you'll have like literally zero contacts and zero people that you know.
Right.
But I had gone for like one shoot, and there I actually met Smridhi, the stylist.
Stable.
Yeah, she was assisting Edward back then. So I met her, and then I already knew her through a friend before we met at that shoot. So we connected. So we were like, okay, we're both starting out. Let's help out each other. That kind of a thing happened. I think it took me so many years. I feel from 2016 to probably 2018, I was still doing like very basic lookbook. Somebody would contact me on Instagram, and I would end up doing their lookbook. Uh, 2019 also I started getting, I feel, decent shoots, but 2020 was like a game changer.
But what was that shoot which really changed the game for you?
One shoot which changed the game, but I think there were multiple, no? So from lookbooks, there was doing basic lookbooks to, I think, I'm just thinking. I think during test shoots, I tried to do a lot of test shoots, not just in the studio, but like, maybe try to get a location and then do it there. Uh, I'm trying to think. So I shot with this model Hitesh at a location. Yeah, it was a very old house in CP. I shot there. And then again, because my first designer that I shot with was Bhavya, so she said, this house looks beautiful, let's shoot there. So I think that campaign did give me, like, that was my first campaign also.
Nice.
So that actually changed, how people looked at my work also. Because they would only call me for lookbooks, which is also like in the beginning, that's what you'll get. Nobody's going to be like, hey, I think you can do my campaign shoot. That won't happen.
Yeah.
So I think that was my,
And
that
then
was my first break. And in that also, we had two models. One was my sister, and there was another model who they knew, and shot with them. It turned out to be beautiful. I think it's still one of my
the
favorite
first
shoots.
project which we did with you
Was actually for this brand called Shah in
Kishangarh.
Kishangarh. That was also 2019.
2020.
2020?
Exactly before COVID.
Okay. So that was February 2020 then.
February 2020,
Yes. Yeah.
February or January 2020. Taran, I think.
Taran was there.
Came to the
Yeah.
project.
That
shoot,
actually turned out to be beautiful. That's a beautiful shoot.
because
And that's my only shoot that I've done in Kishangarh.
yeah. So we did a Kishangarh shoot 1.5, 2 months before that, and I think, I don't know, you approached us or something. Something happened that this is what we want.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Because
It was a very low budget shoot. I remember I said production का भी budget नहीं है, कुछ budget ही नहीं है. And I still remember, like, ठीक है, उस time पे that also seemed like, okay, if
but the
somebody's
content,
ready.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, content आ गया. The content came out really nice.
Of course. The shoot went really well. And I think I was so impressed with Taran only. I was like, wow, this production house is very, very
So
good.
Taran still does, like, whenever I call him, like,
I mean, so he's just flying day after tomorrow to Bangkok.
for this Reliance campaign. So last campaign he was in Bangkok like 3 months back. So I can rely on him, like, yeah, you go and just get this.
Yeah.
Because he knows his shit.
No, you have a great team. Everybody knows their stuff, and they're very professional, very, very, very good people.
So Kishangarh was fun. I mean, exactly. So for us was also like same, like 17 we started producing, 18, 19 went just like that. 19, luckily we got coups. We did a lot of campaigns.
Okay.
And then 20 happened. And in 20 I was out of action for like good 7 months. I came back. I remember I came back on 2nd October 2020 after COVID.
Okay.
And I think you were the first or second one to shoot the studio because I had to launch the studio.
Yeah.
So we did
I remember contacting you and saying, can I come and visit the studio? I saw like one picture of that sunlight coming through the door.
So
and
nobody
I'm like,
had
wow, I want to shoot here.
So nobody had done the ambient studios till then in the country.
That's true.
So me and Ranvijay, we sat back in 19 and because Ranvijay has also started flying abroad and he was traveling and here and there. So I showed one reference to him, one studio in Dubai, and like I was like, ऐसा कुछ चल सकता है इंडिया में? He's like, बिल्कुल चल सकता है, सब ऐसे शूट करते हैं. And I remember like Ranvijay telling me like 5 years back that, let me tell you, DJ, that the campaigns will start coming on 35mm films, larger than life, wider. And this is exactly
Right.
what happened 3 years, 4 years down. Because last year campaign when we were studying, it's always these low angles and all that, the campaigns,
Yeah.
the cuts and all that. So that way he's fun, like he helps a lot. So we came with the studio and we built the studio, and I don't know, some dressman told somebody that somebody told Devanshi. So I did not know Devanshi. So Devanshi called me and said that I've heard about your studio. I need this studio. I was like, but the studio is like, it's not even done yet. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, I want.
Even that floor and the backdrop
Nothing
wasn't
was
made.
done.
It was just like white brick wall and the sunlight coming in, and that's it.
So Devanshi then shot it before me, and I think when I came back, then we started shooting. Then COD happened.
Yeah. Then God happened.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shoot.
Yeah.
And after COD, I think the whole market in the lookbook category in Delhi changed. At least I can speak. You
Yeah.
can't speak because I run the place and I see how many times that backdrop has been painted, how
Yeah.
many times that wall and floor has been painted, because SD always shows me that this wall has gone from 18 mm to like 60 mm or 70 mm. It's this thick.
Once he came to me with a photo, I was like, "Ye paint ki layers hai." And I said, "Oh wow."
So yeah, that, and I think before that, if you will pick up, there were hardly any ambient shoots happening in lookbook or campaign category. There was a very that concept of dark rooms, like as in studios.
Yeah.
Or
Studios in the basement with no natural light. Yeah. No, I think Go Studio changed that game with the whole natural light coming in.
Yeah.
Abhi bhi uske months are October to I think Jan, Feb.
Feb.
And after that, it just
But then,
changes.
so if you look at the planet, I mean, we are more towards the equator.
Right.
So that when the light falls in winters and summers, depends कि वो light कैसे कर रही है.
Right.
Like imagine designing the same studio in Kashmir will give me more angular light
Right.
than what I'm getting in Delhi. I mean, if I look at the whole border of Gujarat and all, it's going to be very tricky
Yeah.
to get that kind of directional light. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, content-wise, I mean, talking about content. So since you just said that you start with lookbooks, campaigns, and all,
Yeah.
how do you see today's market? Like, particularly because your career has started exactly when my career has started.
Yeah.
Because I also started producing in 17, right?
Right.
And वो journey साथ साथ का चला है. What is a change in the perception of a client? How the ask has changed now? Because I remember like earlier 15, 20 photographs were fine. Now there are like 70, 80, 100 shots a day. Plus that bloody 10, 15, 20 reels. Like, how do you justify that? I mean,
I obviously can't justify that, but one thing I don't like is doing photo and video on the same day. I think that really troubles me because I'm just like,
If you know your flow breaks. Any shoot where you have done still and the video happened next day?
yeah, with you only. So
he
in
just
Bombay.
called me. He just called me like a half an hour
That is
back.
the only shoot where we've done stills on Monday and video on Monday.
Nice then.
It's
Like,
come out
look at the
beautiful.
films as well. Look at the still imagery as well. You
Yeah.
get your breathing space. You shoot it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you shoot it in one flow. There's no break like acha ab light change hoga, or your whatever your photo setup, the video, like your setup gets changed, then the video lights come in. And then you have to like, keep doing that. Even the light team has to keep doing that, removing your light, adding video light. I think it's a very annoying process. Yeah. But I feel like that's becoming like a thing now. So I don't really know, like from a client's perspective also, what do they do? Like, should they be doubling their budgets and like shooting video the next day? Because see, Soch was a different project, right? That's a commercial advertisement job. But like I do a lot of designer lookbooks, I do a lot of designer campaigns. They don't have that kind of budget to like do a 2-day.
No, that's fine.
Two-day
But,
shoot.
my most important thing, the question which keeps always coming to my head is, do we literally need this much of content for social media every single day? Like, because you're shooting the.
You should ask like the designer.
I to ask, but I don't pick up designers, no.
No, yeah, you don't have.
I don't.
Yeah,
pick
you
up
don't have.
It's very
designers.
difficult for me to
Right.
handle.
Or even brands like homegrown brands. A lot of homegrown brands are also like exporters, right? So they're exporting. So they're not typically a designer brand because obviously they're making a lot more money and they're not dependent on fashion weeks. They have their own seasons, they follow international calendars. So everything is very different. Those people are very different from like your typical Indian designers, which I feel are very, very less now. I barely feel like I know any fashion designers. I literally know like 2 or 3 people who are like fashion designers, and they've not come with that aim that मुझे सूट बनाना है और सूट ही बेचना है, and I'll make whatever the crowd is liking and I'll follow that. There are very few like creative young fashion designers now left in the
Who
country.
speak their own language, who are like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
this is it.
Yeah, exactly.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Very few people. I know there are a few. There's Mannat Gupta, there's Akhil. Now these guys are also selling abroad. So yeah, I think they're also growing, but there are very few in number. Like I don't see a lot of good fashion designers doing well.
It's all commercial now.
It's more commercial. Maybe people are concentrating on export so much that they don't want to cater to the Indian market, maybe.
But
Or the Indian market is very small for them, like to make profits.
okay, so the way I see it is, the cost which was involved to make a conversion happen 5 years back, it has gone drastically up.
Right.
I mean, it used to be a organic rate to some extent, and then you would put some money in performance marketing.
Right.
So let's say to get that X amount of revenue, you had to put Y amount of money in performance marketing. Now to
Right.
get the same X amount of revenue, that Y has become to 2Y and 2.5Y.
Yeah.
So I think people are also saying that, earlier the retailers used to loot us, now the performance as in the meta and all that, because the cost is going higher day by day.
Yeah.
So, and also for the end user, I think now it's just like whosoever is giving me a better discount or better package, like in that sense. So that is the biggest challenge in the designer space. But talking about content-wise as a photographer, like you have done lookbooks, you have done designer campaigns, and you have done a couple of commercial jobs, and a couple of them with me as well.
Right.
Which excites you more?
Definitely working with designers.
Because there is
That's the
more
most
freedom.
exciting. Yeah, there's more freedom. They're also they want your own opinion also. They want your creativity to come out. They'll tell you that this is the concept. This is what the collection is about. Then you pitch a concept to them or you pitch what you feel about it. And it's not like I spoke to a designer and the next minute I'm pitching them something. You take a day or two, think about it, how you can, give them a concept which best suits them and their campaign. But I feel I get to do that very less now. It's more, as you said, it's become more commercial. It's more about like,
Yeah.
Also, I think there's a lot of like, first there used to be like a lookbook. So a lookbook would be what, like front, back, side, right? Now we're all shooting creative lookbooks, which have mood shots, which is like, I feel it's a mix between a lookbook and a campaign because they want mood shots so that they don't have to spend on a campaign separately. But then they need that window light of Go Studio for the mood.
No. Then in the front, left, right, back, details.
You have done all of that, but then out of, say, if you're shooting 20 garments, then 10 ke mood shots hone chahiye. So that has started, which is, I'm not saying it's bad, but then I think the workload increases for a photographer quite a bit. Because you're not just shooting, nobody's picking like 4 pictures from one look. They're picking 10.
Yeah.
So, which is a lot of editing work also.
True.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we talk about, on the contrary, when we talk about the commercial jobs, what do you like, what do you hate?
What do I like? I like that it's so quick. When you have shot in like, I feel we can finish the job in less than 8 hours. That is a good part. But and you have to. I think everything is so organized. You have to. You know the brief.
Yeah.
You've done the PPM. You know what you're shooting. You know your frames. You know your setup because we've done a recce a day before. So everything is very organized and you know what you're supposed to do. There's no like कि अच्छा ये भी कर लेते हैं, ओ सन इधर चला गया ये भी कर लेते हैं. It's not like that. So it's I think it's very professional and controlled, even if it's an outdoor location. What I don't like is like it's too
robotic, it's plastic.
Yeah, it's too
I
robotic.
can speak for my content.
Yeah.
I'm very chill with that. Because what it is what it is. Like, honestly speaking, like, I also go through my work. So if you look at my social media, I hardly put up a work.
Yeah.
I hardly put the story there because I'm not convinced with the kind of work I'm producing. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's try something. Yes. With designers, homegrown brands and all, yes, you can make really amazing content,
Yeah.
but that doesn't suit me.
That's not where the money is.
Honestly speaking, if I were given a platform the moment I started my career, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
But I literally fought for my own market.
Hmm.
Nobody gave that opportunity to me. I literally fought, and I think I got
So how did you start? I want to know this. How did you start? Like, how did you get into production?
No, so we started producing accident. We started this industry accidentally. So I did my engineering. My partner was from IIT,
Mm-hmm.
and we started the first fashion tech product, which was a marketplace, which was like, Cherry Deck,
No.
Production Paradise. So these are the websites which have all the content, all the database of all the photographers, stylists.
You've told me about this, huh? We've spoken about this.
So we started from there, and Go happened accidentally. Go was
Okay.
like two people high on drinks and one person high on Coke. Coke as in Coca-Cola. So he's a panch waqt ka nimazi, love this guy. So he wrote the first check. So, we studied college together.
Okay.
So he said, need to start. And I'm like, okay. And then after a couple of days, he started like, did you start? I was like, but yeah, we were high. He's like, you were high. I was not high. Which was
Okay.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was literally drinking cold drink and watching a movie. So he wouldn't do anything, right? So we would drink alcohol and he would drink that normal non-alcoholic beverage. And he's like, yeah. And then I spoke to my partner, like, yeah, he's right. He's like, yeah, let's start. So we started in October 15. And we started in October 15. And we wanted to crack the market.
Okay.
And so we started with the catalogs, hardcore e-commerce shoots. Because वो धंधे में वही समझ आया था. So we hacked one of the biggest marketplaces in India. We got all the seller database and we built our own email server campaigns with the backend and all. We started shooting emails to everybody. That's how we started the career.
Nice.
So 17 May, this client came up to us and he was doing catalog. He's like, can you do campaign? And I kar lenge. He's like, photographer chahiye. I was like, ये photographer hai, stylist chahiye, ये stylist hai. Because we had in-house photographers.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't work like that. You have to show me options. I was like, fuck it, find the options. So we found the options and all.
So basically, you shot your first campaign in 2016 or 17?
August 17, and Ravi helped me.
Oh.
Some model gave some model gave me the reference of this guy. He's like, he will help you with the equipments and all. I was like,
Okay.
but I have the equipment. Like, these equipments won't work. I call this guy. He's like, I want this and that. He's like, I'll charge you 30,000. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? For the equipments? Now I'm the kind of producer who pays like 3 lakhs for the equipments a day, but fuck it, those were the different days. So we got it. So he helped me get a location manager, he helped me get a line producer, and he helped me.
Ravi helped you?
Ravi gave me a couple of contacts, and couple of contacts were given by this model friend. So we produced first campaign there, and then 6 months down the line, same brand came to us and said, shoot the campaign.
Okay.
So first campaign was a loss, second campaign we made a profit, and second campaign was with Ranvijay Paul. This is how I met Ranvijay. First project, and amazing experience, amazing. Like, man, that you should meet that guy. This guy is a different energy altogether. So shot the second campaign, 2018 January, and our third campaign was same brand again, third project of the life, and we shot in Bangkok. Again, first project
Wow.
abroad,
Nice.
and that's when we took Raju with us.
Okay.
5-day campaign. So yeah, it kept on happening. So if you look at the kind of hustle we made in the market, it was technically 18 and 19.
Yeah.
2021 I was out of action. 22 I was in the market.
2021 you were out of action.
I was in Kashmir now. I was at home.
But then Go Studio picked up.
Go picked up because I knew how the market run. So, but if 2023 and if you look at the portfolio and the brands we're handling, I think we did pretty good because everybody knows us.
Yeah.
So it was fun. So, but we never had that obsession of just say producing because in the Indian market, what I personally find technically in the North Indian market is like there is no respect of a production house, and which is I fight. So if you see me on the floor, you have seen the difference working with other producers and working with me. Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm acting pricey. I'm saying that I'm fucking fighting for my own existence.
Yeah.
Because if I don't make a difference in the line of work I'm doing, then I will end up doing same jobs like everyone. I'm not complaining about anybody else. But yes, touch wood, we get at least 15 to 20 briefs a month.
Yeah.
And our conversion rate is just 10%, less than that. We love to say no.
Yeah.
There's a certain there's a clarity issue or there's a finance issue or there is the sync
Too
issue.
much. Yeah. Sometimes the vibe also has to
Vibes,
match.
yeah. So that's the most important thing. If the vibes don't match, cool. I mean, we can't do it. We won't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So we're very clear. We can work on the budget, let's say 2-3% here and there, but we won't because
Yeah, it sounds very
maza-
arrogant that the vibe is not matching, but I think it's so important,
That's
like
the
in the
most
creative field, for the vibe to match. Because if you're not vibing, then how will your client also be happy? You also won't be happy by the end
no,
of
and
it.
you have
And
seen.
the energies need to
Yeah.
sync. Yeah,
I'm
very
I'm I
important.
am very blunt with my client as well. You have seen me. I'm
Yeah.
very cutthroat, but I chill with the guy as well.
Yeah.
I'll sit.
You manage it somehow.
Huh. Because then I make the client understand that see, if I don't stand for my own team
Yeah.
and I will keep pushing my team for you guys, देन मैं काहे का प्रोड्यूसर यार मैं तो फिर
Yeah.
प्रोडक्शन वाला बन गया ना जो सबको बोलते प्रोडक्शन करनी है तो मेरे को अगर प्रोड्यूसर हो तो
Exactly.
भाई ये होना चाहिए राइट और आई थिंक touchwood that sanity is with us matlab we keep that kind of difference at least in our line of work and 2023 last year it was amazing for me because I happened to see the Bangalore market and I can bet on this thing right now that in the line of advertising Bangalore will take over Mumbai in the coming 10 years.
This is what I actually just heard in Kerala also. I was shooting in Kerala 2 days back. A producer in Kerala, she said Bangalore and Bangalore's locations, they're much cheaper than Bombay.
Yeah.
And there's so many production houses also coming up in Bombay and so many locations. You can shoot anywhere. It's much more affordable than Bombay. So
Who shot in Kerala with you?
I was with a line producer. I was with the Karan Nazare Productions. Karan
So
Chawla.
he produced completely.
He produced.
Sure.
But there was, of course, a line producer. He also had a co-producer with him. So she was telling me that she produces a lot in Bangalore. But Bangalore, Kochi, apparently Kochi is also a very big spot for a lot
We
of
shot in
shoot.
Ooty. We got amazing line producer recently.
Huh.
I mean, honestly speaking, as a producer, I would say spend more money on line producers.
Yeah.
Your job is half done.
Yeah. That's true.
I've seen people like spending less on the
But don't you feel like across India it's so difficult to shoot anywhere because line production ke liye you also need like local people, right? A lot of
Huh,
local.
so line producer means a local producer. So you
No,
need
no.
to have a network
Yeah.
of good line producers.
Yeah, but that line producer might be amazing. But then the kind of people he has to get, like the issue like we face in Kashmir.
Yeah. So
You need to take your own people, I feel, all the time.
yes, but the thing is that and if you see the same shoot for Amazon when we did in this Jaipur ke paas mein,
Right.
we got the whole team from Delhi.
Yeah.
Because the logistics cost was not a big difference for me.
Right.
Kashmir was a huge difference because it was a
No, Kashmir, that's what I'm saying. But if you have to travel
but
to
the
the
line
south,
producer gives you a heads up in the start. Line producer specifically says कि बाहर से बंदे लेकर आओ. At least 2 head spot boys लेकर आओ, 2 head art boys लेकर आओ. OT was the same thing for us. OT was
Right.
given, but luckily we got great team. I mean, we got
Okay.
amazing lights guy.
okay.
10 लाइट वाले खड़े कर दिए उसने बैंगलोर से आया था लियो केम एंड देन आर्ट बॉयज केम फ्रॉम बैंगलोर एज वेल एंड स्पॉट वाज फ्रॉम लोकल बट एनीवेज सो which you always say that we eat a lot of junk on the set. OT is plastic free.
Oh, wow.
So since we say OT is plastic free, we literally don't have much to eat and drink. Your water bottles are not there.
Then how do you drink water?
So you get your glass bottles and you have to get it refilled. So there is no plastic bottle there.
That's amazing.
No 200 ml, no 500 ml, no 1 liter, no 2 liters, which is best thing.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is gone. Second, you don't get the cold drink in the.
I carry my own bottle all the time.
So
Yeah.
I mean, same is with me. Like I prefer to keep my bottle. So I went and there and I bought a bottle and kept the bottle for 4 days. But client agency, everybody understood. Yeah, this rule, this law is for everybody.
Right.
So they had to follow this thing. But overall, the shoot was a good experience because it went seamlessly. But again, you need a team for that.
Yeah.
I had.
You can't shoot. You can't have a great shoot without a good team.
So I had 85 people each day.
See,
First day was
85
70.
people. How will the shoot go bad? If the shoot is going bad after having 85 people on set, then to...
Recently, Kerala mein.
क्या?
ये जो which you shot just day before yesterday. How many people were there? 30?
I never count, but हाँ 30-40 तो होंगे. 30-40 minimum. हाँ 40 minimum. Yeah.
So-
But that space was also like that location was tricky in the sense you had to first go down the hill. There was
No, but the
water
moment
body.
I told you, client also sent me the mood board. I saw the brief and like, fuck, this is good. But then she said same dates as when I was doing OTS, I dropped it. But yeah, I mean, so that is the experience. I personally feel as a producer, you have to give that experience that people remember that experience. That,
Right.
you shot there, you did a project there, and then you move out of the game. So Bangalore, yes, coming back to the thing, Bangalore
वो
is a
स्टूडियो एक्सपीरियंसेस यू हैव टू टेल द पीपल बस बहुत सर्व कर लिया खाना
no,
सेट से हट जाओ
but they are also like
नो इट्स
stuck.
अ ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस
No, but I understand where you come from, but they're also stuck because uh, again, North India clients want you to be pampered, like want
Yeah.
them to be pampered, like they were like सब कुछ रखना, सब कुछ,
हाँ,
कोई कुछ
right.
खाए नहीं, चाहे डायबिटीज ब्लड प्रेशर है, मर ही रहा हो इंसान, बट दे आर लाइक दैट. और आई थिंक वो नेरेटिव भी सेट हुआ है. सो दैट इज द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज अगेन व्हिच कम्स टू मी एज अ प्रोड्यूसर, दैट यार कोई स्किल सेट तो देख ही नहीं रहा है.
हाँ.
आप समझ रहे हो, अगर आप एज अ प्रोड्यूसर सेट पे जा रहे हो और आपके पीछे में एक स्पॉट बॉय रख दूं छाता लेके घूम रहा है, और एक बंदा रख रहा है जो आपके लिए जूसेस, कोल्ड ड्रिंक, पानी, कॉफी पूरे दिन आपके पीछे हो रहा है, वाह ग्रेट प्रोडक्शन. बट if I'm like, let's keep it equal for everybody and let's focus on and sitting with Ritika, hey Ritika, you know what, this shot we can do this like this, and let's do the art like this, and let's set the frame, which is good, but this kind of thing has never happened in North. North is like pamper. North is like pamper, and that is the biggest challenge when I speak to senior producers here. It's like, you need to change the dynamics of the game because technically there is no respect in this game.
Yeah.
राइट, देन यू शुड बी इन हॉस्पिटैलिटी सेगमेंट ना, तो फिर तुम कैटरिंग बिजनेस भी खोल दो, राइट, तुम गाड़ियों का बिजनेस भी खोल दो, तुम्हें यही सब करना है. तो वो तुम काहे के प्रोड्यूसर हो यार, जब तुम्हें अपना मूड बोर्ड ही नहीं पता, जब तुम्हें अपना कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं पता, स्क्रिप्ट का ब्रेकडाउन नहीं पता है, शॉर्ट ब्रेकडाउन नहीं पता है, या आर्ट वाला कैसे उसको एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है, या
Right.
so these are the things which I think which makes a complete package. And yeah, Bangalore coming back again, Bangalore is a great market because of the startups. So all the startups in the tech space and all, they're coming up over there. Now all the startups, let's say Ola for an example, or for Ather, so like company, or any app company which is into whatever gaming or whatever. So since their headquarters are there, their marketing teams are there. Now they want to make content. And what has happened in the last 7-8 years, there has been a transition from agencies to clients. So all the creative people who were with the digital agencies or mainline agencies, now they are on the client side.
Yeah.
So they work on the complete concept, creative and all that. Because brands suffer at times I would say, they suffer like because agencies do take their time to present a mood board. On the contrary, if they have the creative in-house, they'll quickly make a mood board, this is what you want to execute. And production houses can execute it for them. So that market is growing. Delhi is a market for designers, which is very good. Fashion, it's very good.
Yeah.
But advertising, no. You haven't done much in advertising, but you will love the experiences because the same project when the client wants to do in Delhi and the same project when they want to execute in Mumbai, they're ready to pay 30% extra. Same team,
Yeah.
same project. So Mumbai has that respect. But yeah, I mean, this is a thing. I mean, coming back to you, like, what do you see? Like, most important question is, it's a very stereotypical question, but I want to know, like, being a woman in the industry, how do you place yourself? Have you faced any challenges or something like that?
I think I faced a challenge right at the beginning to, get to work with a photographer. I think after that, it's not, I don't feel I've faced any challenges being a female. I think not really. I don't think I've faced any challenges other than being called Prithvi ma'am. I don't
That's
even
funny.
think that's a challenge. But I think it's always exciting to work with clients. I think as clients actually say that, we love shooting with you because you're a female photographer, you have a different perspective. I mean, I'm only seeing my perspective, so I don't really get to know how, it can be that different, but they see a difference in like a male photographer and a female photographer. Sometimes I feel it could be because I also relate to the clothes. Mostly we're all shooting women's wear. So maybe as a female, I start thinking, from a buyer's perspective, that's what I feel, that might be different. That if we're shooting, suppose a sari or a suit or, anything, lehenga, I know that I'm also a buyer, right? In that sense. So I see it from that perspective. So I know if a client is saying, nahi, mujhe iska front back chahiye hi chahiye. So I know why they're asking, because if I'm also shopping online, because most of the things are online now.
Yeah.
I also know what I'm looking at. I want to see a front shot. This is how a front shot should be. I want to see the details, what's on the garment. I know all of these things are needed, even from a buyer's perspective. When I try to do, suppose say we do like, okay, let's take one mood shot. The client is like, I don't know if this will work or not, because it might not work for, say, a lookbook, but at the end of the day, you're creating a brand vision. So for that, I think that my perspective is like, maybe if it's a male photographer, they'll be like, "Acha nahi chahiye mat do." I don't know. Like, I'm not commenting on male photographers, but maybe they might not be pushing the client, or they're like, "ठीक है, we'll do our job. We're told to do this. We're going to do that." But maybe I push the client a little bit. That could be like a female perspective. I'm not very sure.
No, if you're fighting
Also, thing is, I've not met any photographers. I've never, other than Karishma, there's no other photographer that I've actually met.
You should meet me then. I'll make you connect with a lot of people.
Cool.
I do a lot of network.
There has to be, I feel, not like a union, but there has to be, like, I think there should be like at least a WhatsApp group where all the photographers are there, and we can all talk and chat and at least have a conversation about even sometimes shitty clients. Like, sometimes you just don't want to work with somebody because, they're...
No, but I told them, we wanted to do a meetup. We wanted to do a good meetup. We decided in October, and it was supposed to be for Christmas. Well, it didn't happen because my best friend's wedding was on that day, and I had to fly to Nagpur, so I had to cancel.
So maybe you should take up this responsibility.
No, me and Ashu are working closely with it. I told Ashu, let's do it. Ashu is all completely aligned with that thing. I think this thing should happen. Like, once in 3 months, 6 months, you're doing a get together. So exactly. So coming to that, we have started a new initiative which Utkarsh is leading along with a couple of other people.
Okay.
Calling all these youngsters.
Okay.
So any photographer who just started the career 6 months back, 3 months back, any stylist, any creative director, art director, graphic designer, anybody, youngsters, and just sitting. So we do it. So we did done one before around Diwali, and we're doing one again because last 2 months have been crazily busy.
Right.
So we want to set up a consortium kind of thing where we call all these youngsters, sit with them, understand their problem statements, and try to devise solutions for them. So even if Go in the back end can help them, let's say if they're producing, want to shoot done and they don't have the budget.
Right.
So my team can help them with this thing or with the equipments or with the art or whatever. Maybe make some calls to the modeling agencies and all that. Because they did the same challenge which you faced, that you didn't know any modeling agency,
I didn't know anybody. Like even Light Rental, I reached Vimalji and then I'm asking him only, "Mujhe studio book kar do." Because I didn't even know which studio, where is it, who to contact. Because online also there's nothing. Now there is. Now I feel
I think Glam Space mein we can do this. So Glam Space is a website which we are doing. I showed you a demo last year as well.
Yeah.
So Glam Space mein we are adding all the locations of Delhi NCR. We're gonna add all the equipment vendors. We're gonna add all the arts, props, and all that, so that anybody can use it more like a Yellow Pages.
Right.
And make some
for sure.
Because I think that accessibility, I would say, let's call it a fair game.
Yeah.
हथियार सबको दे दो and let's see what magic they can do. Right. Rather than them struggling really hard.
Magic तो यहाँ हो रहा है घिटोड़नी में. I think this has become like a mini film city.
SD has given me a number yesterday saying that there are 18.
He gave me the number 2. He started counting and I'm like, wow.
And he remembers all the names of all the studios. But see, fun, fair game. I was never, if you see me, you must know me, like you know me from last 2-3 years. I don't have any problem with anybody opening up any space. I don't call anybody as a competition.
Yeah.
My competition is my skill set.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning and see, this is my benchmark and this is what I want to do.
Right.
And I'm the kind of guy who literally goes to every studio and says, "ये ठीक कर दो." ये गलत है, ये ठीक. You know it, right? I've changed the dynamics of a lot of competitors.
Because I feel it shouldn't be a competition, no? If 2 studios have opened up, 3 more will open up, be okay with it also, I feel.
I'm saying give a good experience to everybody.
Right.
Get the whole game up.
Yeah.
Rather than dragging somebody else down to your level and stooping down to that level, make it a fair game.
Yeah.
Let everybody play. पहली बात तो यार, it's not your family legacy.
Yeah.
कि तुम ही you are running the show.
Yeah.
Right. And secondly is like, if you think you deserve it, bloody work hard for it.
Yeah.
Don't come to me with the bullshit saying that, we had a monopoly or we run the show. Abey yaar, you don't have the monopoly. People were not aware about this business. Now, since people are knowing this business, this vertical, they're entering in the business.
Right.
It's a head-on-head collision.
Yeah.
So I want to see that how you're going to perform in this kind of stress level. A lot of people came to us and said, your numbers are going down. SD has proven me wrong. SD showed me the numbers that in the last 2 financial years, we have gone up by 15%.
Wow.
Despite the competition rising to 3x. So that's what I'm saying, that there is no competition.
You do know, you have SD is also your PR person.
He has a different
he's a PR person only.
He knows everything.
Yeah.
He knows
Matlab,
everything.
he'll do production and all of that. I know as a production house, you're providing all that, but I think it's a great experience to shoot
Yeah.
at Go Studio.
And we changed the base.
Matlab, if you have 18 studios here, why are people choosing to shoot at Go Studio?
Yeah.
You know,
Because of the
there is
experience.
because of the experience.
Because
and now
we
it's
treat like our own.
exactly. So there's a homely feeling, I feel. There's a warmth there and it's a homely feeling. Somebody will tell me, "Acha, ye wale studio mein karte, Go Studio is not available." I'm a little upset.
नहीं, which is
Honestly.
fine. Like कहीं
नहीं कभी कभी करना पड़ता है. Go Studio can't be available all the time. We end up shooting everywhere else, but I think there's maybe because we started shooting at Go Studio, it was one of the first studios here.
I got an inquiry from Gujarat saying that we want to build a studio like you in Gujarat. I said I will charge you 4.5 lakhs as consultation. I'm not kidding. I'm showing you.
Yeah.
They agreed to it.
Oh wow.
So now we
Amazing.
are negotiating on the number of hours.
Oh wow.
Like you have to do the visit. I said the visit will be extra. The flights will
Yeah,
be like
of
okay.
course.
I don't want everybody to open a studio. I want give good experience.
Yeah.
Help the talents, the artists to produce great content, right? That is most important because only then you will have that skin in your game. Otherwise, if you have a runes like all around you and you can't say that this is my empire, bhai, khatam ho to.
Yeah.
We're in the market.
And I think nobody should be that arrogant. You're not going to live forever. That is also one thing.
Nothing is
right?
permanent.
Yeah, nothing is permanent.
So we have that fun, we have that liberty. And I always train everybody like, be in the game, do the best you can do.
Yeah. And I feel this whole feeling of competition shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like, I think anyways, I'm not of that mindset. I'm okay. Yeah. Like 1 month I won't shoot. June, I don't shoot.
Ask my boy.
Yeah. I know how many holidays you take.
We.
Kalpuna, where is Dhananjay? He's gone to Kashmir. He's
No, but
killing.
everybody takes holidays, na? Shreya came after 6 days today morning. Abhishek takes a leave of 7 days. They also leave for. ये तो हर तीसरे दिन बीमार होता है, चौथे दिन बीमार होता है. इसको हर हफ्ते साइनस होता है. This guy has come yesterday after 4-5 days. तो freedom नहीं है because this friend who shoots the podcast with me, she's like, ऐसा freedom तो कहीं नहीं है because she was AVP.
No, that's true. हाँ.
I was like, ठीक है, काम कर लो और मजे से करो.
Yeah.
See, honestly speaking, there's a certain number against which you need to get the ROI done. I get my ROI done in a project. I won't push for second project in a month.
Yeah.
I think December was a loss, net loss, which is fine with me because I will recover in February. But if I panic and say, let's cut the staff to half, let's get the team down, doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
We're like very chill that ways, and we want to build that thing, play the bigger game, play the longer game. So just say,
You don't have, what we were discussing, you don't have to just look at like the next 2 years, 3 years.
So I have a new game in the market.
Huh.
So if something happens in Gitoni soon, so I'm gonna come up with a next solution for the industry.
Oh, which is?
Which is a huge space. It's gonna be an encyclopedia in itself.
Nice.
Yeah. So we are like, let's break the game to the next level because so we understand performance. We see brands how they want the content. We have understood the numbers. Now SD has given me complete insights about how the designer market works because I think SD is the person in Delhi who has the most connection with because he holds a chunk of designer clients right now.
Yeah. He's also an observer. Have you seen? He observes a lot.
So and I think at least he must be doing 30% of the designers in the because every query uske saath hai and he knows. So when he's losing a project or when he's winning a project, he tells me the numbers gap and all that. So I have understood it, and I know there is a solution for it because nobody's going to spend money like on art or set design, right? So we were just thinking about a couple of ideas like let's do another fun game. So we were exploring some areas yesterday with Taran last night.
Nice. In Gitoni.
No. We'll get out. Okay, Tony's.
Oh, okay.
Because hona chahiye. Now let's say there's a X budget involved for a project and you want this particular talent to come up.
Right.
But if that talent is getting your budget up by 5%, and if as a production house I'm doing something without compromising the quality of my set art production and getting you that 5% extra leverage to get you that particular model on the set, you will feel good.
Right.
Because so that's what we are working on right now. So we need to just pick up different bits and pieces and it's a different puzzle every single time, but all these small ingredients are on the table, all these small puzzles. So it has to be fun because the game won't stop. So when we see the market now, After COVID, the scenario has changed. Now all the brands have to
Completely.
shoot their lookbooks, have to shoot their
Have to shoot
catalog.
it. Yeah.
Even if they're going really heavy on retail, back what used to be like 4 years back, but their shoots won't stop.
Yeah.
Pretty
2020,
designers,
when
yeah.
once COVID hit and the lockdown was there. I remember lockdown got lifted, I think in May beginning or something.
Late.
3rd May it got lifted. Ki
In
30%,
phases. Haan.
30% whatever workforce can,
Yeah.
start. So mid-May, I got a call from a brand that we need to do maybe a 4-day or a 5-day lookbook shoot only, and they only have retail spaces. Yeah. Like, and they had never done lookbooks. So they had only shot campaigns, and they had no online presence, like no online website to purchase, basically. So I said, oh, wow, okay, 5 days, 5 days. I said, or no, this time nobody had any work. So I said, ha, sure, I'll do it. Whatever, mask pen ke, face shield pen ke, like everything fully. I was like, bas PP kit rehta hai. And I'm entering war zone. So, but shot for like 4-5 days continuously. Just lookbooks, like matlab just a lookbook, nothing else. Like front back side, that's it, front back side for every garment. And yeah, after that it was crazy. I think June, July became completely crazy. I think as the lockdown got lifted, so many brands realized that they have zero online presence.
Yeah.
And they had no websites. They, even if there was a website, there was no way to buy. So online stores ka to, I think it just, the market exploded. I think after 2020, like June, July, after June, July, the lockdown got lifted. It was insane.
Because I remember
How many calls I got that. Like, I think that month before Diwali, that's usually very busy. I had some crazy, crazy number of shoots that I did.
I know. Because 2021, before second lockdown, I mean, we saw the numbers of because studio was also opened up in that phase only.
Yeah.
We saw those 2 quarters and they were insane. Then after 21, lockdown got lifted. Like, we started again operating in August. I don't know, July or August, but I came back from home in September 21. I saw the numbers, I saw the volume, I saw the people, and I was like, ye kaun log hai? Because if you look at the amount of photographers, filmmakers, stylists who have entered in the market in the last 3 years is
3 years.
humongous.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what used to happen before. Earlier, when somebody used to assist somebody, there used to be a good breathing period of 2 years, 3 years. कितना करना है? अभी नहीं है. 6 महीने में बंदा अपना start कर रहा थी, which is good.
Yeah.
But
6
after,
months is a bit much. 6 months, I don't think you learn a lot in 6 months.
but you know it, people are doing it.
I think that's mostly happening with styling interns.
Yeah.
Styling interns टिकते नहीं है किसी के भी.
Plus also the influx of, which is good, the photographers who used to do catalog for Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra and all that, all these big marketplaces.
Yeah.
They started doing lookbooks and all, which are doing really good work.
Good work,
We see
right.
we see the volume of those, those works as well.
No, I think, yeah, so many people have come up, like stylists also who were interning bigger stylists. Now they have their own, Instagram handles, or, they're doing very well on their own. Wohi hai, just 3 months, 4 months, people would learn and they'll be like, I think we can start on our own. But I don't think everybody is successful with it, but I do feel like India is very talented. There's so much talent everywhere. There are quite a few people.
What do
who
you
are
see?
doing
If you were to place a bet in something in fashion, what do you see? What's going to be the next big thing in photography, in fashion advertising in India?
What's going to be the next big thing? I think one thing which is not going anywhere is lookbook.
That is one. But how do you see AI right now? Do you try Mid-Journey and all that?
I've tried Mid-Journey, I've tried Evoto, all of these. I feel they help in like, Mid-Journey is great if you're making like a, mood board,
I work on that same, yeah.
if you're pitching to a client, it's great. Because so many times you have an idea in your head and you can't find a picture, and your main thing was always Pinterest or, Google Images. You would look up there, but sometimes you don't get those images. But Mid-Journey, I think, helps you in some way, because you can literally put in, feed in your input and then get an image, which is probably not so realistic, but at least will give an idea to a client of what you're thinking visually.
But what about Adobe Firefly?
I haven't tried. Firefly, I haven't tried.
It's in Photoshop only inbuilt, right? I think Firefly.
नहीं तो जो Photoshop के अंदर वाला, I don't know, it's called Firefly, but like that Adobe Photoshop वाला तो I've seen how it's working. That's pretty good. But I think it's only making things quicker.
But it's good for a digital asset,
As a
for print and all that.
Yeah, print. I don't think it's even giving that quality yet.
Yeah.
But I feel maybe it's not giving it now, but maybe in the next 2-3 years it'll give you that
Once
high.
you start building in layers and all, yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I think editing will also maybe reduce, is what I feel.
It has reduced already. We have tools called Retouch for Me. Have you tried
Yeah,
that?
no, but like boy, that's what I'm saying. Like Evoto and all, they do retouching, but I feel it's still not high end.
No, but the thing is that now imagine the kind of volume you guys are handling it.
Yeah. So maybe not for a campaign. You might not
Not for
use it for a
campaign,
campaign,
but for look for catalog, it's
but for
great.
very simple catalogs where there are no mood, there is no background, there is no, a set where there is no set, you're shooting on a white paper backdrop, that you can easily, AI can help you a lot with that.
Yeah.
There's backdrop cleanup, there's skin retouching, there's everything, there's makeup adding. I've changed, model's makeup completely.
I saw it. One of the photographers was showing me the results. I was like, good enough because
Yeah.
the volume is such. You have to do like 500 images.
There, I think that's quantity over quality also.
Yeah.
You're not looking at a high-end, it's not a beauty shoot that you're looking at a high-end.
But at the
touch
same
image.
time, this image is gonna go on a 5-inch screen on your phone. And the
Exactly.
breathing space is not even that much.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the life value is like short.
But that's for like your generic lookbook. I still feel like, again, designer lookbooks, you can't do it. Like it starts looking fake. I would rather have an image which is not retouched and very close to raw. But also that's my aesthetic. That might not be everybody's aesthetic, which is not retouched and very close to what I've shot. You maybe do a little bit of tweaking in the settings, like you tweak the exposure, warmth, all of that. You tweak all of that, but I wouldn't want to retouch with AI. Like I find it slightly a bit much. Or to me, it starts looking a little too fake.
What do you think of collaborations? From my personal experience, I haven't seen much of the editorials slash collaboration works between photographers, stylists, art directors, which used to happen a lot before 90.
Earlier. Yeah. So 2020 is actually me and Rishul collaborated for a model test shoot. I think I was also doing a collaboration after a long time. After that, I don't think I've actually done a collaboration. Test shoot के लिए भी time I think निकालना पड़ता है from.
I personally think that it requires more of your time and energy than a normal commercial job.
Yeah.
Because then you
it
have to
does.
put your brain and just work on it.
Yeah, you have to work on it. You have a mood board. Then you're like, okay, which model to take? You have to source garments. Then you have to tell those people, like from a stylist perspective, you have to tell the designer this is for an editorial. And I feel Indian magazines are almost dead sometimes, I feel.
But
I don't see them producing great work also.
But then you apply on international magazines as well now.
So that's what I usually do. I think I've applied for like Contributor, recently Lucy magazine. I've gotten 2 editorials published. So I think that's also more fun.
one of them,
Yeah, I think I also like that a little more.
But do you think as a young photographer, when you start your career, for any youngster, for any newbie who's entering in the market, the person should do collaborations and try to figure out?
Oh, 100%. They help you a lot because if you work with like multiple people, like, models, stylists, makeup artists, for your next paid shoot, I would say, you already have a set team. And if you work with someone and you've gelled and you've really vibed with them, then it's a great thing because that's how you build a team. पहले भी तो ऐसे ही होता था. People used to work with stylists, people used to work with makeup artists और उनका fixed team रहता था.
Right.
So I think अभी भी ऐसे है. A lot of people who vibe together, they usually shoot together. So which is actually a great thing because it's very difficult to find like-minded people or people with the same aesthetic sense as you in a creative field.
Right.
So I think once you get that, once you start collaborating with multiple people, you also like build your own team for like future shoots, not just editorials, but for like commercial jobs. Then you vibe with somebody, they understand your aesthetic, you understand theirs. So I think helps a lot. Usi se you can the best way to start is actually through collaborating. Even model test shoots are a collaboration between the photographer and the model. So that's the best way to start.
And let's say, would you advise your younger self that if given a chance, would you go to a fashion photography school? Does it help?
Oh yeah, it helps a lot.
No, you studied in New York school, right? But see.
Now, if you ask me Delhi school, I have no idea. No, but I also went to Delhi School of Photography. I did 1 week of like basic course, like photography course, basic photography course, just to understand कि मुझे कुछ समझ आएगा अभी कि नहीं, very honestly. Because for, I think maybe for say like 3-4 years, I had been using a DSLR, and I think I'm naturally I observe where the light is coming from. I've always been like that, like natural light. Obviously, studio lights, I had no idea back then. But when I was younger, I used to observe, light is coming from this side. So this is the east side, this is where the sunrise is happening. So I had a natural knack for I think understanding basic lighting. So when I got a DSLR also, I didn't even know कि उसको aperture बोलते हैं. But I understood कि when it's 2.8, there's more light in the, and the focus is this, and I understood all of that without knowing the technical terms for it. So I know ISO बढ़ा रही हूँ तो light बढ़ रही है, but also there's a little bit like it's becoming grainy. I had already understood that before I even went to any school. So that was me experimenting at home with my cousins, with my sister, with my friends, just doing random shooting. Like even at home, I would like shoot my parents sitting, doing random things. I have like a huge album, not album, but like I have a hard drive full of like my personal stuff that I've just shot, like family get-togethers, like friends get-togethers. I've shot a lot of that. So I had a good experience of like working with a DSLR before I even got to photography school.
Got it.
So when I joined this 1 week course in Delhi School of Photography, that was also pretty good. I think that was just like, okay, now this is called an aperture. This is what it's doing, ISO, shutter speed, all of that.
Yeah.
So it was just like, कि ठीक है, okay, a little bit of your technical terms.
But that's technical, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, everybody goes to a school and just learns the technical stuff.
Right.
What differentiates you as a photographer? A
What?
great photographer.
Great. I don't know if I can call myself a great photographer.
But see, I mean, honestly speaking, there's a process to everything. But for me, just
Yeah.
if somebody comes to me and say that you want to be a photographer, I said, okay, technical stuff everybody knows.
Yeah.
But I say, go and read history, go and read literature. I think that will help you open up. I mean,
Right.
you open up to a very different dimension in your life.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to have an eye to see something before getting that instrument in between.
Exactly.
Right.
100%. I feel it doesn't even matter if you click with an iPhone or you click with a
Yeah.
DSLR with a camera. I actually think that you don't need a high-end camera to shoot good photos. If you can shoot something great with an iPhone or with any phone, like phones are pretty good these days. So if you can shoot something with it and, an image can speak to you, that's like way more, I think, that's more important than getting your lighting right, getting your shadows right, getting your contrast exposure right, and all of that. So I think that technical knowledge anybody can learn.
Yeah.
But having an eye and having to, having, I think, a lot of observing skills also. That's very important as a photographer, to observe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe, that's just that skill differentiates me from other people.
I mean, it's very subjective again.
Yeah.
I mean, the process, how you see something.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly speaking, like in my last 9 years of career, at least I can click good pictures of somebody, like my phone and all that. But yeah. But I ever got a chance to try a film camera?
I did. I've shot on film. I've shot on a large format, but that's like back in New York. I've shot on not here. Here I've not tried a large format.
But it's fun, like doing many
Yeah.
formats and all that.
But yeah, I would, I think, like to. But I just again feel you have to slow down in life to,
Yes.
move away from digital and then give
I remember like one of the
medium or large
interviews,
format a shot.
Lindbergh was asked,
I have at least 4 film cameras at home.
really?
Yeah, but I've not gotten to use them.
No, you should.
I have expired films also, which I've not ended up using.
You should. But it's going to be a really great result. Sometime you should try it.
Yeah.
If it's an expired film, you put
I
the
know.
in the camera, it's gonna give you like really crazy this thing. I was watching one of the
should try
interviews of this Peter Lindbergh, and this interviewer asked him that, how do you find that? I mean, what's the difference between a digital and the in the film? Because now digital is just like the screen over there and 100 people giving the
Yeah.
spontaneous reactions towards it. I mean, how do you see it, like when 10 people are like behind you on the floor and just like,
I think the most annoying part is when you click and you're like, "Arey, ye theek nahi lag raha." It's like, "Arey, this is the first shot. Let me take 2 or 3 more shots and let me figure it out." Also, the model takes time to warm up. It takes a while. Like first shot, you also know, takes the longest. After you're done with the first shot, it's always very, very quick. So that first few hours or few minutes of a shoot are always like, people are just getting comfortable.
No, but my rule is very simple that I never disturb anybody in the first shot. The whole process of first shot.
Right.
Even if it takes 2 hours.
That's how it should be also.
Yeah.
Why I feel also, because everybody has an iPhone, even though this sounds funny, but like even though everybody has an iPhone, not everybody is a photographer,
Yeah.
right? You might click great pictures, but when you're in a setup like this, when you're at a shoot,
Yeah.
your first shot will not look like, the phone, what a phone would click. People will be like, oh, but it's looking better on the phone. And I'm like, yeah, because 100 things have to be done. This is very high quality. You can't always compare it to an iPhone.
But talking about the processes, like which all photographers you're inspired from?
So again, because I studied in New York, again, I have a lot of photographers that I was exposed to there. So very few Indian photographers that I even knew
No,
of.
talk about international photographer. I'm fine with it.
So I really like this one guy. I'm forgetting his name. Give me 2 seconds.
What kind of work he does? Like
Fashion guy. I have his book also. Yeah, I'm forgetting his name.
La Chapelle?
No.
Avedon?
No, no, not Richard Avedon, but I like his work also. The guy who's done these Moroccan portraits, he's done Peruvian couple. What's his name?
Destino Lindbergh.
No.
Uh,
Very famous.
no, I don't remember.
Shit, like I've blanked out on his name. I have his book, like it's in my studio. I see it every day.
But I mean, talking.
I'll tell you when I can.
But I mean, as a photographer, what process you follow? Like before going for an assignment, let's say there's an assignment today, what would your day be like? How would it start? How's it different from the non-working days?
How is it different from a non-working day? I feel it also depends from project to project. So if it's a campaign shoot, see for a lookbook, I think lookbooks are no-brainers for me. It's like just getting up, going to work, like a 9 to 5 job. I don't have to apply brains for a lookbook. But when it's a campaign, there's a lot more which has gone into it. There's mood boarding. There's a certain kind of, mood that you're trying to create, depending on the collection, depending on all of that. So you do all of that before the shoot. I think there's not much on the day of the shoot, but like before the shoot, you've created a mood board for yourself. But I'll tell you, this was my process earlier, since a very long time. I was following this process that, okay, I create a mood board for myself, and this is what I follow. In terms of imagery, this is what I want to achieve, but not necessarily the same exact thing that I've put in the mood board, but something close to it. But recently I realized, like, whatever you click, it's already there online. Or even your mood board, I don't want to copy somebody else's work. It's not copying, but even get inspired from. I think inspiration is also getting limited to Pinterest.
Yeah.
So
these are
now,
more majorly Pinterest boards these days.
exactly. So I feel your own work also starts looking like a Pinterest page, which I don't want it to look like. I feel I do have my own, like my own language.
So, I mean, so that is a thing. Like, I mean,
So now recently what I've started doing is, if it's a campaign shoot, I'll only think about it. I won't go prepared with, there will be a mood board, but I feel I don't need to look at a mood board too much, because then you sort of get restricted and you're not.
blockage is there.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
kahin na kahin, I think I feel like now I've plateaued in my career. I feel, ठीक है, advertisement jobs and all this, you'll keep growing, but like I feel personally you need to see that growth. As you see, your competition is yourself, right? So I feel, I don't know if I'm getting inspired anymore, like with even my own work.
I can feel it.
Sometimes, yeah, you can feel it. That I feel sometimes happen. Like, I think that's a very recent thing. Maybe say,
I would be the person who gets disappointed after locking a project. I literally get disappointed. I'm like, shit, yeah.
sometimes
Because
I
there's
love a
not much to do.
location, I love the model, I love everything going, like everything is right, but I just feel like I'm going to create another Pinterest board. Like images, I know the shoot is going to go well, the client's going to love it, I'm going to love it for that moment, but like a day later, I'm just like, theek hai. It's just one of those shoots that I've done are good. I don't know, like sometimes I feel it's becoming like maybe it's the quantity also. Sometimes I feel maybe it's like I am doing good work, but then if I'm doing like 5, suppose I'm doing 10 shoots a month, 5 are great, like, great work. But the feeling that you get from each shoot is like getting dissipated, I feel.
That is the That is the thing.
So maybe either I need to reduce the number of shoots or I don't know what the solution to it is. As you were discussing, this is a problem. Where do we stop? What is our goal? Like, I think I need to rework on the vision, long
I
term
think there
vision.
should be a constant break.
I do take a break. So every 3 to 4 months, I just take a break. I have that.
Which is very important.
Yeah.
Because I've seen photographers.
But I also get very lazy during the break, and I'm like, एक महीने का break ले लिया है.
No, but that break is not that break. No, that is not a holiday.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that break is like more of a self introspection kind of thing,
Huh.
where you say that, okay, this is what I've done in the last quarter, and this is what I want to do for the next 3 months, and I need to just focus on it.
Yeah.
That at least I get 1 or 2 jobs in that genre, so that
Yeah.
it keeps me competitive. It keeps that adrenaline rush pumped,
Right,
and it's very
right.
new to learn. I mean, let's say. I mean, we do a lot of fashion, but I personally find I was just discussing this thing with Raju. Like, Raju, let's do something in Kashmir as well. Let's do a test shoot, like concept or an editorial. There is freedom to it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You wake up at 5 in the morning and you say, wow, I love this texture of air and let's shoot something.
Yeah.
And texture of air has nothing to do with the picture. But I mean, that expression, that body language will come out.
Yeah.
Do one shot a day. I'm not saying that do bloody 10 shots, do one shot. But do that justice with the shot. Don't be in the rush. Commercials, I guess we are hired.
Irving Penn. Irving Penn is the name. मुझे finally याद आ गया. Irving Penn. I love his work.
his work.
I think his work inspired me a lot. Like I have his book and I go through the images whenever I feel.
I think we also have a book of Irving Penn. I don't know. We must be having one of the books. I don't know. But I've seen the work.
Yeah.
I was recently I was working going through this
Yeah.
going through this photographer called this is Armenian photographer who's known to shoot portraits. I'll send you the pictures, black and whites.
Okay.
Shot I think he's Armenian, if I'm not wrong. Shot portraits of Winston Churchill and all that.
Okay.
And amazing work. Because Chandrasekhar showed me his work long back, and then I saw his work. And then I was watching some content recently and saw his work. Beautiful. I think those people, they're like.
I think they were also at a slow pace, nah? It wasn't, the pace wasn't like this. I feel there's no, you need to give yourself a break. Like every 3-4 months, I feel I need to take a break and just be like off work. And I like to do that. I'm in no rush. As we discussed, like this is a long-term thing.
Because these jobs
not like I want to do it for the next 3 years and bas uske baad burnout ho gaya. I don't want that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because these jobs won't end.
Yeah.
Client will always keep chasing you. I personally find a lot of people have that insecurity, what if we lose the job? What if we are not available?
I think that is one thing that I've never been insecure about. I've not been. Like, I feel I'm okay. Like, if I get to know somebody's going to send me, oh, your client went to somebody else. Like, he's not my client.
Exactly.
He's nobody's client, It's not like, theek hai, somebody comes to you again and again. It's great. I think it gives you, like some validation ki, okay, you're doing good work. And of course, you bond with the client or with the brand. It's great that somebody's coming back to you, but I don't feel emotionally attached to any client or any brand. Like, I feel I want to do great work and that's it. Like, if somebody likes my work, they'll come to me. They don't like it, they'll go to somebody else and I'm okay with it.
As a production house.
इतने photographers हैं, किसी और के पास चले जाएंगे, it might work out with somebody else, I feel.
Because I always say that the day you board the client is the day the client has exited on you.
Yeah.
Don't be emotional, don't be attached.
Yeah.
Go get the job done, move on.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not gonna get stuck there, मेरे साथ काम नहीं कर रहा,
Exactly. And I don't take it to my heart also. I'm okay in like somebody getting 10 shoots done from me and then 11 they want to get it done from somebody else. It's okay. Or they want to get 2 done and they feel, oh, it didn't work out. Or they want to experiment. I think aajkal ye bhi hai that people want to try out different talent and they want to see ki, whether the language, imagery works with another photographer, or they want a break from like, oh, we've been shooting with the same photographer, the language is looking like a little similar. We want a break, we want to try somebody else. That is also fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
That's their money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's their money, also their brand.
Yeah.
And you're only hired for a project. So it's okay. I don't think you need to be so attached to a project or a client. But I feel nice if you tell a client I'm busy on a day and they like to shift the, shoot date for you. So I feel that in a way they're respecting you and they want you on the job, which is a good feeling, no doubt about that. But I feel there should be no emotional attachment to any client, brand, whosoever.
So same here, I follow the same thing. Like, okay, if you are available, you are available. If you're not, you're not.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I mean, if you feel that you're replaceable, you should know that you're replaceable.
Exactly.
Is
You
it?
should never feel that you're irreplaceable and then,
Yeah. You should
you're the best and you
no,
shouldn't have that.
that's a self delusion. That's a crazy delusion. Like, but yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's about it. I think for today. What's the duration of this thing?
1.5
We
घंटे
did it.
1.5 घंटे पता नहीं चला.
So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.